नमस्सर्वेभ्यः स्वागतम् अस्माकं प्रवेश पाठस्य अत्र तृतीयगणस्य मेलनम् अद्य प्रथममेलनं प्रार्थनया प्रारम्भं करोमि। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। ॐ तत्सत्। अस्तु, मम नाम अनुजः। मम नाम अनुजः। मम संपूर्ण नाम अस्ति रामानुजन् वाल्मीकि इति, संक्षिप्ततया अनुजः इति। अत्र प्रवेशस्तरे प्रथम पत्रालयद्वारा संस्कृतम् इति संस्कृतभारत्याः पाठनकार्यक्रमे प्रथमस्तरे स्मः। We are welcome to the Pravesha class. This is the first level class of Samskrita Bharati in the Postal course. My name is Anuj Valmiki, and in full it is actually Ramanujan Valmiki, Anuj for short. So I will be your pathika or guide for this, or a tutor, you can call whatever, for this course. My usual plan. My usual plan, sorry about the noise from somebody's mic. My usual plan is to try and cover all the subject matter, because many students are not able to put time for what is supposed to be self-read, self-pursued, etc. But it's okay. We can do the reading of everything at least once, and where grammar aspects, etc. comes, I will be in more detail. Okay. So we will cover the syllabus. We are going to have these sessions 3 times a week, all on weekends. Okay, twice on Sunday and once on Saturday. So 11 o'clock through 12:30 or so. We may go up a little bit here there. And then again post lunch, after you have taken a rest, between 3 and 4 p.m. So starting again at 3 p.m. we'll have a quick 1 hour session. Then again next Saturday we gather at 11:30 and go up till 12:30. On Saturday, we will not have a post-lunch session. Saturday is only the morning session. And then Sunday again, we continue the 2-session cycle. So this way we will be getting 3 slots per weekend. And with about a dozen to 13, 14 weekends, we should be able to cover most of the matter. That's my hope and intent. So asmin stare. And also, okay, few more things perhaps. The normal etiquette that is required is that you unmute only when you have a question to ask. Okay, so you have to unmute only when you have a question to ask, and after having asked the question, mute yourself. Otherwise, there will be a lot of burden for me to keep on managing the mute and so on and so forth, and it makes it very difficult. Okay, so as much as possible, I request you to be muted. You're almost following that. I just wanted to place that on record. Number 2, if you have noticed, I have disabled you to use your cameras. Okay. Many elderly students are there. Sometimes they are not aware how to use. Already there is a big challenge. I understand that big challenge for them to attend through these complicated meeting apps. And so accidentally they may turn on the video, and so it may not be suitable for them to have done that. So to keep the privacy, and also as I personally would not necessarily require your videos to be turned on, I have disabled the audience video. Only you are of course allowed to unmute and speak. The audio is completely enabled and it's at your control when to unmute and mute. But you will be able to see my video I have turned on my video because sometimes a visual uh, appearance of the person who is speaking is critical to focus upon and gather the information. Many find it difficult to only follow the audio, especially in a live class. So there will be my screen share as well as my video. You will have to manage. I wish and hope that you're using large screen devices, at least a tablet or a laptop or a computer, because then the material is best visible, readable, and you can enjoy the class better with a headset ideally, so that you are blocked off from other noises. But if you can't, mobile medium is fine, but it will be legibility issues will be there. I can't help it because my material is prepared for a fairly large screen. Okay, so the font will be very small on a mobile. Those of you who are young and have sharp vision, no problem. But sometimes you can pinch the mobile, zoom the area of focus and read also. Please learn all those things, how to do it. And also sometimes some people struggle to switch between the video of my video and also the presentation portion. Play with it so that you know how to keep the presentation the active one. My video is less critical. So on a mobile platform, you may not be able to have both. Otherwise it will block each other. Okay. So with that said, let's get started. So asmin stare, in this level, asmabhi, by us, kim patyate, what all is to be studied or will be studied. Okay, so that's the summary here. So every lesson, there are 10 lessons and two more with some auxiliary information, and then there is an end section with lot of generic information, uh, perhaps largely in English. So the exam portion is the first 10 lessons. Okay, first 10 lessons. Okay, the 11th lesson and the 12th lesson contain additional information. 11th lesson contains some kind of glossary of tables, etc., like that, and 12th contains some sample question papers. One is solved and one is open. Some old historic. Okay. Anita Rangaraj, kindly don't unmute unless you have something, because somehow I'm getting a feedback because you may be logged in on two devices. So there is a feedback coming from your end. Anyway, you should be logged in on one device possibly. Okay. All right. So what are the 10 lessons containing? Each lesson contains several sections. Okay. And there is a kind of a thread running through the 10 lessons. So for example, every lesson in the beginning has a sukti. Though it is not titled as such as a lesson portion, it is there in the beginning. It is part of the study circle. So we have to remember the suktis and their meanings. So suktayaha, it is a plural of sukti. Okay. So lines of wisdom. Okay, typically they tend to be one pada of a one pada or one half of a subhashitam. Okay, vyakaranasya amshaha. So this is grammar points, Samskritam grammar points. So this will be usually the dominant portion in every lesson. You will find a lot of uh, pages are dedicated to the vyakarana amsha in each lesson. Okay, and even in our classes you will find we are spending probably more time on this section because there is more to understand there. Then vyavaharika shabdaha, so some kind of a vocabulary build up section where some popular words that you need to gather, typically nouns of course. Okay, words that you need to gather are listed with a meaning so that we start picking up in every lesson some 20-30 words and gather our portfolio of words in our mind. Most popular words are provided here, related usually in each lesson. One lesson would focus on body parts, another lesson would focus on things in the house, so on and so forth. Then prahelikaha. Prahelika is a Sanskritam verse which is like a cryptic puzzle. Okay, Prahelika is a cryptic puzzle. So usually it will contain some hints of what is being asked in 3 padas, and in one pada it will ask tell me what it is. Some standard technique. It's very interesting thing. So we will look at those also, just to get to know how the spectrum of Sanskrit creations are is very well understood by us when we see all these things. Then Sangrahya Vishayaha, items of interest. So this will generally be some gyan, as we say. Huh? So this will be interesting to know about the world of Sanskritam. Sometimes it is about how many different Vedas are there, what are Upanishads, what are the various types of Kavyas, various things. Okay. In each of the 10 lessons, there will be some items described under this. Typically, largely in English, it will be, or in respective languages of the reader. So that's what it is. But it will sometimes have Sanskrit reference words. Then Samskrita Vangmaya Parichayaha, intro to the world of Sanskritam. Okay, some more details will be there related to that. So then Lagu Kataha. So usually sometimes Sangrahya Vishayaha may be about Sapta Rishis and things like that. Samskrita Vangmaya Parichaya more about the list of kavyas, the creators, authors, such things. Lagu Kataha, brief stories. This will be another very interesting thing for us. The best way to learn any language is through Katha Madhyama. So there is a kind of not very heavy Katha. They have taken, for example, one simple Katha thread of Sanskritam, Sanskritavang world, and compacted it into 5 pathas, Lagu pathas. The katha will come over 5 lessons and another small katha over the next 5 lessons. Typically, that's how it goes. Okay, and there will be some simple questions around this katha. Who said what, where, etc. like that. And it will be in Samskrita. So we will be doing Lagu Katha reading with your help, and I will be trying to help with the meaning description. It's there in the book. You can also read again, but we will do it in the class also quickly once. Then Samskrita Vyavaharaha. So how to greet each other, how to find out the details of another person, common phrases in the speech. So this is like very important for our spoken Sanskritam. So some sample prototype sentences will be learned by us in this section. Mm, you will find that this kind of section in many lessons. Then another important segment, maybe the number 2 important segment after Vyakarana Amsha is the Subhashitam section. So you will find 1 or 2 Subhashitams being introduced in each lesson with the meaning. So we will try to understand how word by word and in a sentence order we understand the Subhashitam, then go into its simple meaning and more Lakshita Vyangya meaning we said. That means it intended and targeted meanings from that Subhashitam. What is the moral, etc. Such things. Okay. So Suktayah Vyakaranasya Amshaha Vyavaharika Shabdaha Prahelikaha Sangrahya Vishayaha Samskrita Vangmaya Parichayaha. Samskrita Vangmaya, what that means is the literature people of Sanskrit call their world as the world that is filled with vak. Vak means speech. So Samskrita Vangmaya means the full world of the words of Sanskritam. So okay, so the speech of Sanskritam. So it's a beautiful way to describe the world. Samskrita Vangmaya Parichaya. And then Lagu Kataha Samskrita Vyavaharaha Subhashitam. Okay, so these are the segments roughly in each lesson. Then in the textbook itself, you don't need to look at it now. You can see on the screen. You will find there are there is an index very clearly given. Okay. So what is the focus of each of the patas? Prathama patha. So here the focus, grammar focus actually. Largely what is described here is the focus of the grammar aspect of teachings. Okay. So first pata focuses on Varnamala, the letter set, because the people from North and Middle India are very familiar with this through their mother tongues largely. But in South India, this script has to be freshly learned by many. So what Samskrit Bharati has done, a percentage 10, 15, 20% of the people may not be familiar, may have to, or at least may have to refresh their knowledge. So they have reintroduced the letters of the script, which we call Devanagari. Devanagari script, Varnamala we will be studying. And our grammar focus is on Vartamana Kala, present tense. So a particular sub-segment of the present tense forms we will be studying. In the second lesson, we continue the present tense learning, Vartamana Kalaha, in other Purushas. So first person, second person, third person, all those variants will be learning. Then we extend ourselves to learn about Kriyapadam and also look at Samyukta Akshara, compound letters, and then what are the rules of writing, okay, and how numbers are coded in Sanskritam, these things, Sankhya cha. Okay, Kriyapadam, Samyukta Aksharani, Lekana Niyamaha, Sankhya cha. One of the very important things in Sanskritam is Alpa Prana Mahaprana variations. Okay, so we have to be very careful to produce that extra effort and the air needed to produce the Mahaprana pronouns. So we should not read this as Lekana Niyamaha. Lekhana Niyamaha. Kha has to come out. Okay, Sankhya. Sankhya. You don't have to, I am stressing a little bit extra just to highlight it for you because I don't know how effective this mic will be in conveying all the correct sounds to your ears. But you should try to pronounce the Mahaprana properly. Anyway, we'll look at all that. Then in the third lesson, we are looking at a variant of the present tense called Atmanepadi Dhatu. That means which have a different types of declension. So we'll be looking at that. Then fourth lesson, we are going to past tense forms, and also there is active and passive voice aspect to Sanskritam sentence building, as in any Indo-European language. So the Kartari Prayoga Vivaranam talks about the active voice and continuation of some more Sankhya teaching. Then fifth lesson, we are going into prerana mode of verbs. Okay, so parasmaipadinam, atmanepadinam cha. So the two variant types of declensions are being introduced there. Okay, so how to exhort someone to do something, or ask someone to do something, or request someone, that's all called prerana. So then Dvitiya Vibhakti, we start learning. One of the major focuses of Pravesha is different declensions of nouns. What do I mean by declension and all that? Let me explain slowly, don't worry. So when we use a sentence, each noun has to go into a different color. Okay. When I say Rama reads, Rama is called Prathama Vibhakti, is the subject, and reading is the activity. And so the subject is reading. So Rama gives the book to Lakshmana. So Lakshmana is the target of the giving. So he becomes a karma, etc. Like that. Okay. Um, there is a there are a lot of 7 vibhaktis. 6 of the vibhaktis are related to the verb. So they relate directly to the verb. That means the noun is linked to the verb using that particular vibhakti or declension, noun declension. One of the vibhaktis is a relationship vibhakti which is related to another nouns. For example, Dasharatasya putraha Ramaha. Dasharatasya is a sixth case, or we call Shashti vibhakti, where it is not linked to the Kriya Pada, it is more referring to Rama. Dasharatasya putraha. So of Dasharatha, the son, like that. So putraha is in Prathama, and so also Ramaha is in Prathama. Anyway, then Bhavishyat Kala also we go to next in the sixth lesson, and also proceed with our noun learning in Tritiya Vibhakti. So if you see little bit of Kriya Pada, little bit of Nama Pada. If you will be introduced slowly, Sanskritam has two major types of words, nouns and verbs. Okay, and in nouns there are again further classes as indeclinables and then declinables, like that. But roughly the whole world of Sanskritam is just two types, okay, of words, nouns and verbs. That's it. Some nouns are indeclinables. Take that. That's all. Okay. That means indeclinable means they have a fixed color. They don't have variation. They don't have vibhakti variations. So that is the avyayani indicated here. So it's also being introduced a little bit. Seventh lesson, we are going into a way technique by which a kriya mula, which we call dhatu, okay, the root stem of the verb, we take it and transform it into a noun. Okay, So there are hundreds of different types of transformations to bring nouns from verbs. Okay, the fellow who is doing some action is a technique available in Sanskritam to put all that in one word. Hmm? So that kind of thing we will be learning, and we continue learning the declensions of nouns. And then one more thing element called upasarga, which is a prefix added to the dhatus, prefix added to the kriya pada, and also the it extends itself to the transforms that we get from that to the noun side also. Okay, it will all become clear. If some things are sounding very technical now, don't get worried. I'll try to put a chart of such things at the appropriate time, not too early. Slowly we will learn all this. So fair, I mean, if you see, no, the even as a first lesson, the depth of what is being covered is quite a lot. It may look like a small book, but there is more, lot of inner stories there. So we will learn that. Ashtamaha Pataha contains Ktva Pratyaya. So earlier we said Tavatu, Ktva. So I told there are hundreds of different transforms available to take verb stems into nouns. So this is one of the types. Okay. And then Lyap is another type. Then we go to Panchami Vibhakti. So the fifth declension of nouns. Then we go in the ninth lesson to Tumun, another variant of to take a dhatu into nouns. Okay. And then we learn the sixth case, so on so forth. Then 10th lesson, we conclude with the Saptami Vibhakti, the seventh case, which is last of the seven cases. Okay, there is a Sambodhana Vibhakti, which is an extension of Pratama. We also going to learn that, how to address someone. And then the other points we are briefly going to learn there is what are the different types of Dhatu groups, which and that is called Ganaha. Then what are the different types of moods and tenses related to verbs, that is called Lakara. So if you see earlier itself, we would have learned about Vartamana Kala, Bhuta Kala, Bhavishyat Kala, etc. Using actual examples. Sanskrit Bharati's approach is not to try and bring too much grammar notes into you and then start talking sentences. Their approach is upside down. They actually it is the proper way. Upside down is how the normal textbooks go. The normal way is speak it. Don't worry. Speak, speak, speak. Then find out what you're speaking and try to understand its grammar. Okay, that is the approach. So the lakara, gana, all those things they introduce at a very preliminary level. Then the like I told you, the 11th lesson and the 12th lesson are some extra material. 11th one has Shabda Sangraha and Dhatu Sangraha. That means the noun declension tables for a few important nouns, prototype nouns we call them. Okay, and then the Kriya Pada declension table for an important Dhatu. Okay, so using which you can kind of approximately know how other dhatus decline. At least you will get 80% right. 20% is difficult. Even for the most Pandit in Sanskritam, mistakes happen. Don't worry. Because the initial 60, 70, 80% is quickly reached by all of us. Okay. But to purify to go to the 100% level is a lifelong, or let us call it eternal exercise. Not even lifelong, beyond that. Okay, Dvadashaha Pataha contains Prashna Patrika, like I already told you about. Then see, this section Uttarani is important for us. What Samskrita Bharati has done is in every lesson wherever they have asked questions, the where the locally itself the answers are not given, they will be collected, and in the end in the Uttarani chapter you will find the corresponding answers. I'm saying the obvious, you guys would have seen all this, but some will not have, so I'm drawing attention. So in this book, all the pages become critical. Then this Parishishtam 1, 2, 3. Okay, this is generic details. This not related to the exam. It is for us to read and enjoy and know about. Okay, of course, Parishishtam 3 is the index of the shloka. So you may sometimes quickly want to use that to find out in which page that particular shloka comes. So it's a important section. So the probably the first word of the shloka or something will be there. Jyoti Bhagini, is there a question?
I'm sorry, it was unmuted by
No,
mistake.
no problem, no problem. I thought there was a question, so I stopped. Okay. So now many students ask what supplementary things I can use to improve the learning, because my curiosity is there to get some supplementary support. Technically, this book is fairly self-sufficient, and our classes should more or less teach you everything you need to know uh, to learn well. But there are some good books also, very affordable good books of Samskrita Bharati. I want to point you to get these if you wish to get some supplementary books. One is called the Bhasha Pravesha Pratamaha Bhagah. Bhasha Pravesha Pratamaha Bhagah. Obviously, there is a second Bhaga at least. So you can get that. But
Sir, excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Just wanted to ask you one thing, sir.
yes, sir.
Just if you don't mind, if you don't
Yes,
mind,
sir.
sir. Can we keep the question answer session towards the end of this class, sir, so that nobody is disturbed in between? Can we do that, please?
Sure. Nobody is asking any question. But if sometimes,
No, no.
brother,
My
when
request
there
is
is
that
an
no.
important question, it is okay to address it in context. Not a problem. I will make sure that we are not unduly disturbed by questions. Don't worry.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
For example, now you unmuted and could say something because that is kind of allowed. Okay. So this Bhasha Pravesha, it's a good book. It goes into little more examples and a good number of quizzes, etc., for us to practice with. Okay, sorry. So that book is a gold mine to have in our library. It's only 130 bucks with some postal charges for sending. Okay. Then there's Abhyasa Pustakam is another wonderful book written by a very good author of Sanskrit Bharati, uh, Dr. Vishwas. So this Abhyasa Pustakam, it's only 50 bucks, but it is gold mine again, because though it is called Abhyasa Pustakam as if it is meant for practice, it actually teaches you also in the way it is styled and ordered, etc. It teaches you also. Okay, so that's another great book to have uh, in your reference set. It has a lot of pictures, picture by picture also it teaches. There is the picture is common between these books. Okay, that it uses a lot of pictures. But our postal book is not so worried about pictures because it knows there are other supplementary books to learn from. So in my slides, I will be providing the entertainment with pictures so that you are not bored. But the book itself is fairly textual. So sometimes that becomes daunting, except when clocks and all are shown. It is fairly textual, but you will find these books are much uh, visually pleasing, attractive for you to open and go through the sections. Okay, so the online also you can buy. You can also go to Samskrit Bharati Girinagar if you are in Bangalore and buy them. So samskritabharati.in/bookstore is where you can order them. Okay, all right. Okay, so at last, after all that introduction, we have fallen into the first lesson today. Okay, at this point, are there any critical questions? Somebody is holding back some critical question they want to ask. Please unmute and ask now. Okay, either everybody has understood everything or I have very disciplined students. Either way.
Sir, excuse me. Just one question, please, if you don't mind.
Yes, Venkateshwarya, please ask. Please ask.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes,
Yeah, just want to
Venkateshwarya,
know
please
because
ask.
as I understand, at the end of the session, are we required to listen to the audio or video of your class every time, or are we getting the material
No.
hard
If
copy of
you
the
if
material?
if you are I won't be sharing this material, okay? Because the material I am using is literally the book that you hold in your hands, okay? We do not wish to
Okay.
share the scanned version of the book. I am using it in my presentation to for the ease of my teaching, okay? So please just
Understood.
if you want some critical visuals that I have which are not part of the book, those particular slides I will be sharing them as either one page PDFs or as images, etc. But I won't be wholesale sharing any presentation. Okay. You won't need it
Okay.
also because what I am going to display is largely colored version of the book only. Okay. Nothing there new in my slide than what is there in your book. Okay, so you won't really need it.
I raised the question. No, sir. Why I am asking you this question? I read from that what you call the email that the hard copy of the materials will be sent over postal address. That's the reason I raised this question. Okay,
Yes,
thank you
you
so
should
much.
receive the book. You should receive the book through postal means. Haven't you already received it if you have registered?
Then I have received. I have received that. Apart from that, anything else you will be
That's
receiving?
all.
That's my
Nothing
question.
else. Nothing else. The book is the
Okay, fine, fine.
complete material. Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Devaki, Devika.
Yes, sir. Morning, sir. Actually, I'm logged in through my mobile, but I'm trying to do it through my PC. I'm not getting the proper link to download and do that. Is
Nothing.
there
See,
any other
basically on the PC, make sure it's online. Number one. Number two, you
laptop?
on the
Laptop.
PC, yeah, laptop, whatever. So you don't need to actually install. Also, there is if you click out the thing, there is attend through the browser option. You will see. Okay, attend through the browser. You can attend through the browser also on the laptop. Okay.
Okay, the
But
same
if you
link.
same link, the same
Hmm.
link, if you click the first open, it will go take you to installation process of Microsoft Teams. Okay, many have already done that and installed the Microsoft Teams. If you are yourself not aware, please take the help of a youngster in the family who is tech savvy. Okay, or a neighborhood, somebody will be there to help you.
Okay, I'll try it, sir. Thank you.
Sir, Namaste. Anita Rangraj here.
Namaste.
Uh, Sir, officially I may be traveling for 2, 3, like 20 days.
No problem, madam. Attendance is not compulsory.
Yeah.
I will be only reporting to Samskrita Bharati the overall statistical count of attendance. I'm not going to send any severe note saying, hey, you are not attending classes, you are barred. Nothing like that.
Then how do I make up the lost one?
uh, I will be sharing the recordings. You can make up through that.
Okay, sir. Thanks a lot.
Sir, Uma here. I have the same problem. I
You have
work
the
on
same
Sat.
answer. You have the same answer.
No. I work on Saturdays, so I'll catch up with the recordings.
Thank you. Thank you, Bhagini. Okay. I think
Your YouTube
Rupa.
channel I can't find. I'm trying to search on YouTube. I didn't find that first slide you had. I didn't see.
Madam, YouTube can be uploaded only after the class finishes, right? How will you find it? Anything
No,
there?
it's the first. Okay.
Yeah. Don't worry. It will be there.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Sir, Yogita here. You
Huh.
suggested some books and all that. In future also probably there will be suggestions. For that, can you send us the link in the WhatsApp group?
Yeah. That book, what books the two I showed, I will send send that image so that you can go to that URL and order. Yes.
Thank you.
I'll be sharing some such things at the
Yes.
end of the class in the WhatsApp group. Huh?
Hello, sir. Uttara here. So this
Yes.
link you will share in the WhatsApp group, is it, for the YouTube recording?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I think I have answered all the questions.
Yes, sir. Namaste, sir. This is Shimanti here again. I raised my hand. That is what I wanted to clarify, that if I miss out on one session, I can hear the recording on my WhatsApp, the link you will send on the WhatsApp, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Same question, same answer.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. All right, guys. So I'll mute everyone. You can lower your hands. Okay. So प्रथमः पाठः पत्रालयद्वारा संस्कृतं प्रथमः पाठः. First, they have just welcomed you. Dear student, it's a matter of great delight that you are taking part in this Sanskrit education scheme through correspondence. We need not again stress the importance of Sanskrit. Please set aside at least 20 minutes of every day for study of Sanskrit. Study the lessons well. If possible, contact some other person participating in the scheme to discuss with him or her. We welcome you to this scheme and sincerely hope you will share your joy of Sanskrit learning with your friends so that we may increase the world of Sanskrit. Don't give up. So the first ukti itself is actually encouraging you to not give up. Okay, so that is the first sukti of the first lesson. Arabdam uttama janaha na parityajanti. Arabdham uttama janaha na parityajanti. Arabdham, that which has been started. That which has been started. Obviously, it is something significant that you have started. Uttama janaha, those who are of good nature, those who are of stronger nature, superior. Okay, who are ready to struggle through life. Na parityajanti, will not give up. Tyaga, same tyaj. Okay, so parityajanti, they will not give it up. Okay, so good people do not give up what they have begun. So I have given a slightly larger sentence in Sanskritam. Let us read that. Svikritam arabdham cha yat kimapi karyam uttama janaha madhye agatan vignan api nivarya phala prapti paryantam kritva samapayanti. So here this is a kind of little bit more tatparya style explanation of what that sentence means. Svikritam arabdam cha, that which has been received, taken up and started. Yatkimapi karyam, whatever work. Uttama janaha, we already know. Madhye agatan vignan api nivarya, in the middle, those that came, those difficulties, even them having resolved. See how much is there. I am going in what we call butler English. Word by word, I am going. Okay. You know how to make it straight English. Let us focus on our orders in Indian grammar. Phala prapti paryantam, until the fruit is obtained. Until is in paryantam. Phala prapti is obtaining of the fruit. Kritva, having done, that karyam kritva. Okay. Having done. Samapayanti, they complete it. So that's a slight tatparya expansion. So you will find this kind of Sanskrit expansion of what is written in a shorter way by the Kavis. Okay. Now what I have put some little extra effort is, okay, this is a good, very good ukti, but where did it originate? Is there something available? Can we search and find out? I did some search. This is from Panchatantram, from the Kakolukiyam chapter of Panchatantram. As you know, Panchatantram has 5 chapters, so it's probably called Panchatantram. So Kakolukiyam, Mitra Bedaha, etc., like that. So there the storyteller has embedded this in the mouth of one of the characters. Prarabhyate nakhalu vignabhayena nichaihi prarabhya vigna vihita viramanti madhyaha vignaihi punah punarapi pratihanyamanaha arabdham uttama janaha na parityajanti. What Samskrita Bharati has just taken the 4th pada and told it because that's the moral. But if you see beautiful, much more beautiful information in the verse. Prarabhyate nakalu vignabhayena nichaihi. Those who are of lowly nature, who are not strong enough, Nicha, don't take it in any durta sense. Those who are weak also is Nicha, can be taken. They do not even start due to the fear of Vigna. Vigna bhayena na prarabhyate karyam nichaihi. So this is actually a karmani prayoga. By inferior people, due to the fear of Vigna, or what we call obstacle, the work itself is not started. Okay. So in a way, Kavi is telling what is that bhava of nichatva in learning. Then prarabhya vigna vihita viramanti madhyaha. Okay, those of the middle kind, those of the middle nature, they do begin. Okay, they do begin. They don't get too much afraid in the beginning. But moment there is a vigna vihitaha, when they are beset with vigna, viramanti, they stop. Okay, so that is the madhyama nature. Then Uttama nature is Vignaihi punah punarapi pratihanyamanaha api. That means by these obstacles again and again being stopped when they are being troubled. Even then, arabdam, that which has been begun, uttama janaha, those of superior nature, na parityajanti, will not give up. So it's a beautiful thing. Prarabhyate na khalu vigna bayena nichaihi, prarabhya vigna vihita viramanti madhyaha, vignaihi punah punarapi pratihanyamanaha, arabdam uttama janaha na parityajanti. So that's Panchatantram for you. Don't the weaklings not even begin doing things due to fear of adversities? The middlings start off but stop at the first sign of adversity. The superior ones, despite being hindered by repeated obstacles, do not give up on their undertakings that they have begun. Okay? That they began, undertakings that they began. Okay. So that's it. Right? So I think you guys have all got it. Let's move forward. So as was promised, is a very quick revision of the letters of Devanagari, because we'll be seeing a lot of Devanagari. The Devanagari. So what is this Devanagari? It's actually the most popular font used for Samskritam. It's a fairly modern font. In the world of Samskritam, we count by thousands of years. That's why we call it modern. Okay. There were other fonts earlier. Okay. And there are many other fonts even today. Some have died out. Sadly. For example, one other popular font that was there is the Kashmiri font that has died out largely. Sharada font. No new works are happening because the community has been displaced and they have probably lost their Samskrita Vangmaya practice, sadly. Okay, so Sharada Lipi, then there is a variant Lipi of Nepal. The Bengal region uses a variant Lipi, etc. like this. And for example, in our Karnataka region, we write Sanskritam in Kannada Lipi. Telugu people write it in Telugu Lipi. Tamil people have extended their Tamil alphabet to cover Sanskritam and they use Tamil Lipi. But old South region earlier used to use another Lipi for Sanskritam called Grantha Lipi, which was a kind of in script it looks as if it is Tamil alphabet, but it is actually a Sanskrit alphabet in the style of Dravida Bhasha. Okay, Grantha Lipi. Lots of enormous amount of creations in Tadapatra is there in Grantha Lipi. It's there in Sharada Lipi. It's there also in Devanagari Lipi. Okay, and other Lipis. Okay, but largely today, lot of the work of Sanskritam happens with this Devanagari. So what is Devanagara? Devanagara basically it's a reference to the region of Aryavarta of the olden days where this ever emerged. So the font of that town Devanagar. So it's actually you can say the Samskrita Bhasha is called the Bhasha of the Deva Bhasha. So it's called Deva Bhasha. So Devanagari. So the of the Nagar of the Devas, that's font. It's been lifted to divine nature a little bit. But if you see below, I have rewritten it in large blue font here. A, I, U, U, R, L, A, I, O, Au, Aha. This is not la that we use in Marathi or Kannada and Telugu, etc. This is l. Okay, so a little bit of reverse of the la. You can say l. This is reverse of ra. Okay, so this is the thing. And aha, though are listed under the vowels, they are actually by the grammarian, classical grammarian, they are kind of not in the standard list, but referred to as Anuswara and Visarga. Okay, but for us, for generic reading, we include it. So some hrisva, some dirga. See, a hrisva, a dirga, I hrisva, I dirga, U hrisva, U dirga, R hrisva, R, R dirga, L. In north, we pronounce this as ri and ri, no problem. Okay, both variants are acceptable. In the south we go r. Sometimes we go very bad. We go ru is incorrect. R. It should be. It should be neither u nor e. It should be in between. R. Then it's a perfect swara. R. But north they go ri. In the south they go ru, which is both variants are deviation of r, like that. Okay. Then l. Then see, dl doesn't have a dirgha. A, I. So here in Kannada, you know, there are two A's. A. In Telugu also. A. But in Sanskritam, there is only A, dirgha. Always dirgha. A, I, O, Au. All are dirghas. Whereas in Kannada, you have A, I, O, Au. We have I and Au only one dirgha, but for A and O we have Hrusva and dirgha in Kannada and Telugu, etc. But Sanskritam only has dirgha. So A, always make it dirgha. Okay, somebody's house repair is going on. We learned that. So A, I, O, Au. So two matras. You have to give two time elements for reading this. Okay. Then aha. Aha. Okay. All right. So this li is very rare. Even in Sanskritam, it is very rare. Okay. There are some usages, but r is largely present in Sanskritam. Okay, in the word rishi itself, you find r, and then also as a complementary letter added on to the consonants. Also, you will find both these variants a lot. Okay, all right. So here I have highlighted that the Kannada font, for example, has a, I, o, like that. Those who don't know this font, don't worry. Okay, yeah. All right. So those were the swaras. Then swaras, why we call them swara? The name swara is also brilliant. Okay, swayam rajate iti swaraha. Okay, so that means it stands on its own. It doesn't require a support of another to be pronounced. So typically the vowels are also can be stretched. That's why some of them have dirgha. Actually, in technical Sanskritam, there is a pluta variant which 3 time elements and so on and so forth. Okay, but we don't need to go into all that at the simple spoken level. So we're not going into grammatical variations, because in Veda, for example, there is also accent and swara and all that. So swara means the tonality aspect, etc. We'll not go there. It's too complex. Okay, so this l is not found in other languages. It is found in Old Kannada. It's not completely true, but it's okay. A, I, U, R, these are short vowels. A, I, U, R, these are long vowels. A, I, O, Au, these are fixed long vowels. There is no short vowel for these letters in Sanskritam. These are called diphthongs in English. Don't need to worry about what this diphthong means. Okay, is anuswara, aha is visarga. You see, visarga means throwing out of the air. Aha. So visarga, visarjaniya. That's called visarga is the short form of that. Okay, anuswara it is called, or anuswara, because it is actually tacked on to a swara. So you will have or im or im or rum. It doesn't really stand alone. So it goes with one of the other swaras. That's why it's called anuswara. Even visarga is like that. Visarga is not actually a standalone swara. It stays in the presence of another swara like aha, ihi, uhu, ruhu, ehe, oho, like that. Okay. And typically in the south, when we pronounce the visarga, we carry forward the repeated sound of the swara after the visarga pronunciation. For example, we don't say oh, we don't say oh, we say oho. Little bit o comes after the ha pronunciation of visarga also. Okay, that is a style in south. In the north, they cut it oh, like that they will do. Okay, that's goes with their halant style, so they pronounce that way. In some places in Sanskrit, we should actually kill the additional swara reading after the visarga and keep only the visarga. In some cases, we are allowed to extend the a sound after the h, ah, Like that we go. But is also acceptable. Aha is also acceptable. Okay. We'll not argue which is correct. We'll try to understand both as correct and move forward. Okay. So a, I, u, r, l, a, I, o, some like that. A, I, o, au, ah. Okay. All right. Next we come to the consonants. Yes.
Sir, lu na ru na.
No, it is not lr. It is not lr. See, many people, because the font looks like as if r suffix has been added to lakara, read it as lr. It is not lr. Okay, lr can be written with la and r otakshara. Okay, then it will come differently in the font. It won't come with this continuous x s that is shown here. Okay, this is slightly deviant. So this is more like like that. Okay, doesn't have the repamsha. Okay.
Sir, ಒಂದೇ ಒಂದು ಡೌಟ್ ಈಗ
English please. We are in English gana.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Sir, in Lalita Sahasranama Kadamba Manjari Klipta, ಅದು ಕ್ಲಿಪ್ತಾನ ಕ್ಲುಪ್ತಾನ?
Some people pronounce it klipta, some people pronounce it klipta. That's okay. Let's take it. Let's not try to pinpoint that the error. What I have learned is that it is like like that. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I am unfortunately not proficient in Vedic reading. Different Vedic shakas use slightly different pronunciation, which is specific to their needs. No problem. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Let us be what little bit more accepting rather than isolating. That's my opinion about this whole pronunciation thing. All right. So consonants. These are the vyanjanas we call it. Actually, vyanjana as a word in Sanskrit means that which is an auxiliary thing which increases the taste of the other, right? So palya and in Kannada as we say the vegetable side dish is called vyanjana. So okay, so it is a little bit relevant to call this as vyanjana because they don't actually get pronounced on their own. They are very difficult to pronounce on their own. They are incomplete. Okay, so they get pronounced properly when we attach a swara to them, because then they can be kind of continued. Because the fact is that this is how we attack the beginning of a swara ending. That's almost like that. So k plus a ka, k plus a kha, g plus a ga, like that. So what we are going to read is actually the combined sound. See if you see written in English also. So ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. So just listen. This is my pronunciation. It is not the barometer of how it is to be pronounced. There are some better experts who have pronounced this more accurately. We can find those resources and learn. And like I told you, different shakas of Vedas have different pronunciations sometimes. But this is the, take it as a Mysore Bengaloreans reading. Ka, kha, ga, gha, nga. Cha, cha, ja, jha, nya. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. Ta, tha, da, dha, na. Pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. Okay, and then ya, ra, la, va, sh, sh, sa, ha. This sh is from the front of the mouth. This sh is from the back of the mouth. Okay, sa, ha. This is not Mahaprana, Alpa Prana stuff. This sh, this sh. Okay, there is no Alpa Maha associated with them. Alpa Maha is there in the Vargiya Vyanjana, the first 5, the 25 that we saw. No, this first column is Alpa Prana. Second column is Mahaprana. So ka, kha, cha, cha, ta, tha, ta, tha, pa, pha. So there is more ha. So if you see in English also, they have written it with the h to show the ha. Okay, these are the phonetic way of pronouncing the Sanskrit letters. KHA. This is very useful also for us because when we type Sanskritam using the modern keyboards, they actually are phonetic keyboards. So we type in English letters using these combinations. The software is very smart. It combines these three things we have typed to produce the k on the screen. Okay, very smart it is. So it makes for very easy typing. You don't need to put another some color sheet on top of your keyboard and learn something new. If you say R-A-M-A, Rama will come. If you make R capital A small M-A, Rama will come. Okay, so like this, if you make R small a M large A, then Rama will come on the screen. If you don't want to use uppercase, you can say two small letters A, then A will come, Dirgha will come, like this. Okay, if you see earlier, see they here in the accented letter they use the Germanic accents, the European accents. Very few of us know how to use the correct font for this and type it, because our keyboards are US keyboards. They're not European keyboards, so they don't have accented letter generation built into them. It needs some escape sequence and alt sequence and all that. So it's just of little use for us. It's more useful to write it as small a or a big A or two small a's, as one single I, two I's. Okay, you see here E is pronounced with I, not E. E is reserved for A. This is because the English language misuses the alphabet. English language is very bad in pronunciation. Or let us say the English script as it is written is very ill designed. If you take French, Italian, German, etc., they have very good design of how to use these letters and produce the sounds in their languages. For example, Italian, you can anybody once they learn, they can read the Italian perfectly using the same Roman alphabet. In fact, this alphabet is called Roman alphabet. So it was actually used to first pronounce Latin and other Latin languages like Italian, French, Portuguese, etc. All right. So in Italian, if I read this, I actually read it like this. I am reading the English letters, by the way. A, I, U, R, L, A, I, O. Of course, these accented versions are there, rarely there, but anyway. So this underneath dot is given for these strange letters, like that. Okay. So you see combination I. So it's a combination of A and E. So A plus E, A. So you will see later, even Sandhi rules actually use the same engineering. So Panini, when he wrote the Sandhi rules for Swaras, there is a lot of this kind of combined productions coming. Anyway, I, O, Au, okay, like that. Aha, or okay. All right. So Alpa Prana, Mahaprana. And then if you see this thing, the first two columns is actually Karkasha Vyanjana. See, Ka, Kha, Cha, Cha, Tha, Tha, Ta, Tha, Pa, Pa. Little bit more harsh set. The second, third column and the fourth column, the second set of two columns, the third and fourth columns, that is, they are also Alpa and Maha, but they are soft, voiced. We call them as voiced. Sorry, up to ba only, not lava. So this 5. So ga, gha, ja, jha, da, dha, da, dha, ba, bha. This is called mrudu vyanjana, soft or voiced. Okay. So the ka is unvoiced, ga is voiced. Kha is unvoiced Mahaprana, gha is voiced Mahaprana in this varga, ka varga, kantha varga. It's called kantastya. You will see that also. I will introduce a little bit because the science behind these sounds is just amazing. This is not some 26 alphabet fit to make so many pronunciation like in the Roman alphabet. And then they start using dots and dashes and hyphens and all those to extent. But here the letter set is beautifully built to pronounce everything that we need in all variations and scientifically organized. So we're going to learn that. Why this is called Avargiya Vyanjana, why this is called Vargiya Vyanjana, a little bit we will learn. Okay, what I have done on the right is written them in a nice thick font so that we can read it easily, and have put the la, which is there in Vedic Samskritam, la. Okay, this is like the rolled version of the la, la. So as you know, Marathi uses it a lot. Kannada also uses it a lot. For us, we write it like that. So in our font also the simple la and the rolled la has the twist. So if you can see the Kannada script, there is some kind of science behind this script also, how the script is, it's not totally some random picture. Huh? It almost pronounces itself once you get familiar with them. Same thing in Sanskritam also. Sanskritam has one beautiful, or Devanagari Lipi, I should say. It has one beautiful feature. This top headline. This top headline makes the script beautiful. Okay, very nicely you can line them up and all that. Okay, so it's a beautiful. It forces a linearity. So Tadapatra and all are nicely written by. It's very artistic to look at. I myself learned Kannada script from my childhood. So initially I had a very great preference to read Sanskritam also in Kannada. But once I started becoming strongly associated with Devanagari Lipi, and it has now become a mother to me, another mother to me. So I prefer to read Sanskritam in Devanagari Lipi. But I can read them in Kannada Lipi also, no problem. Okay. So I was, yes, Bhagini.
I had a question in the previous slide. See the Ch Varga, the last no is there, na? The example for that would be Dhananjay. In Dhananjay it is used, right?
Dhananjay, yes.
Yeah. So similarly, that K Varga ka last no is there. Is there any example for that?
Kankatam uses that. Kankatam. Basically, when the nasal sound associates with a Vargiya Vyanjana, we use the nasal sound of that Varga. Okay, because our mouth in preparation, because Kankatam, when you go, you cannot go Kankatam like that. It makes very harsh way of pronouncing the nasal. So Kankatam, the nga comes naturally there. Right. So what Sanskrit has done is designed a nasal variant for these different vargas, so that the pronunciation of the nasal variant is congruent with the neighborhood. Okay.
Kankatam means?
Oh, it means your bangle.
Oh.
Yes.
And the other no, that ta varga ka no ka example, and you have the
Oh,
example.
that is plenty.
That is normal. Sorry, that is all normal. Okay, yeah, right. Only the first one.
See, na, and ma appear in plenty standalone.
Yeah. That.
Whereas na and nya, they typically appear as addition to the other vyanjana.
In Bhagavad Gita only it comes. It doesn't come in non-normal. Yeah.
No, because in Hindi script they misuse. They use just the bindu for everything. In Hindi script, everything is made bindu. Okay, bindu means this bindu, this one. So that is not correct. In Sanskritam, this bindu has to be used in the places where it is regularly a swara sound Okay, wherever there is a vyanjana element to it, then nga, nya, these come into picture. Okay.
Thanks.
All right. Okay. By the way, if you come here, pay attention to this kakara written as k, k. So k, here there is a stroke below the kakara. You see, stroke below. That is called halant. See here, the sign, this stroke underneath the consonants indicates that it is a mere consonant without a vowel. So this we call as halant. This is called hal symbol. This symbol is called hal symbol. Why it is hal? Hal in Sanskritam means plow. Hull is actually the metallic element that is attached to the plow in the bottom portion to go into the earth and plow the earth. So that hull, the plow sign is coming below the font. So the name hull is also very relevant. And later on you will find hull also stands for Vyanjanas. In Panini's world, the technical letter hull means Vyanjanas. Okay, you will see that also. It's very brilliant. So this nya, nya, ana, nama, these are nga, nya, sorry, nga, nya, ana, nama. These 5 consonants are nasal letters, the last column. Okay, so every column has a particular technology involved in it. It's classified carefully. So now this picture is very startling. This is out of syllabus, by the way. Don't get scared, because I want to not just worry about our exams. We are here to learn Sanskritam. So I pulled in some advanced material just to get a taste of how scientific it is. This is actually Panini's view of the letters. Okay, see, there is something called Maheshwara Sutrani, which is the beginning of Sanskrit grammar. So pre-Paninian, nothing Paninian specific. When we say Panini, we are referring to the whole parampara up to Panini. Okay, even Panini talks like that. He's not saying things are mine. So Maheshwara Sutrani is supposed to have emerged from the in a very colorful way. As we know, in Indian history, we have a way of remembering everything through some nice story and associations, etc. They are very colorful and stick in our head because stories stick in our head. So this Maheshwara Sutrani has a story that Nataraja, he danced with a damaru in his hand and produced these sutras from his damaru. And if I read them, you will find they do sound like Damaru sounds. I un rik eong iouch hayavarat lan yamagananam jabai ghadadash jabagadadash kapa chatata chatatau kapai shashasar hal. Okay, so this actually is first 14 sutras of grammar in Samskrita. Okay, what this is actually it is the list of letters only, nothing new. Though they are made to sound like something together, there is no magic mantra. Okay, though they sound nice, you can actually make a song out of them, and people have done some brilliant song productions with this. With the Damaru on the side, they have done that. YouTube is full of creative people. So I, un, a, e, u. So in the grammar world, a represents both a and a and even a, the Pluta version I talked about, triple matra. E stands for e, e. U stands for u, 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 u. So ekamatraka, dvimatraka, trimatraka, all are included there. Okay, and this last letter is a technical letter. Okay, Panini created variables. See, software people here will be able to appreciate. In software, we create variables to represent what will later be substituted with actual values, right? Panini created the technology of variables thousands of years ago in Sanskritam. So he created an additional letter called technical letter, which he calls it as it akshara, which is having a meaning until you apply the grammar, and then it has to be deleted from the picture. So it's like a tag. So object oriented programming, those who are from the software world here, this big terminology, they hammer saying object oriented programming. Panini introduces object oriented programming in his Sanskritam grammar. So n is a tag attached to this an object or in object, un object. Three objects can be extracted from this. Okay, so and why he sometimes may use this title tag to do specific operations later. Not always, but sometimes he uses this tags. Okay, so for example, nit, where n is used as a it akshara, you do this grammar sutra. He will say nidanam evam kimapi bhavati, like that. So that means wherever he uses this n ending as a technical ending, we know we have to do that operation. So it's brilliant. Okay, that's why these orange letters are there. Therefore, number one for pronunciation of these verses, and number two verses, if I want to call them as verses. Number two, it is actually having a technical use for him. So a, I, u, r, l, e, o, I, o, hayavara, la, nya, ma, ng, n, na, jha, bha, ga, dha, dha, ja, ba, ga, da, da, ka, pha, cha, tha, th, cha, ta, ta, Mahaprana, Alpaprana combinations, ka, pai, sha, sha, sar, hal. See, he separated this sh, sh, sa in one formula because they are shar letters for him. Shar means heaty letters. So there is a need for him to combine them because when we do sandhis and other prakriyas, there is a reason for them to behave similarly in a cluster. So there is a reason why there are 14 formulas also. Okay. So for example, hal letters, when we say hal letters, starting from this ha up to this lakara, everything is hal letter. So all the vyanjanas are in this, all the black letters in this set is vyanjanas. Hush letters, see hush varnaha. So all this up to dakara. So if you see, all of them are voiced letters, because all the unvoiced karkasha vyanjanas are in the kar set. So karkasha, you can remember kar as karkasha, though we write with alpa prana kakara. You can remember it as karkasha like that. Kar varnas are the harsh letters. Hash varnas are the soft letters. Hash in English means soft. Okay, so hash varnas are soft letters or mrudu vyanjanas, and then karkasha vyanjanas. So they classify themselves due to the way in which they are organized. So this order is very important, 1 through 14. Okay, so now on the left side, what is done is there is a picture of the mouth. Okay, so actually let us take a break. I have been going on for more than an hour. Let us take a short break, 3-minute break. Get your water break. Many of you have been sitting there for more than an hour. Get your quick water break. I also need a small water break. Come back in 3 minutes and we will continue the discussion of this slide. Okay, stand by. I will be putting my headphone down. I won't be able to hear. Yeah, welcome back. So we were going through this. What is this on the left side? So what has been done here is the letters of the alphabet of Devanagari Lipi or Samskrita Lipi have been organized with particular titles given as to where they belong. Okay, so this is a brilliant table and it is done by one of my Guru Varyas, who is a teacher in Vyoma Samstha, which is doing enormous work for Sanskritam, progressing knowledge of Sanskritam. It's a small organization of very enthusiastic people separately from Samskrita Bharati. They're doing some good work. There is a lot of collaboration between Samskrita Bharati and them, but what they're doing is their hard work. So this Aumya Krishnapura is one of the great teachers of that organization. She is, of course, residing in India. She's in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai, but she is actually also from Bengaluru. So she has linked to both places. So she is teaching, it's ongoing actually, Lagu Siddhanta Kaumudi, one of the great grammar books for starting the journey of Sanskrit grammar officially. She's been teaching that for years now. It's ongoing. So there she has created this table as part of a presentation, and with her credits mentioned to her, I'm just showing it to you. So here this picture shows the different parts of the mouth that are involved in producing the sounds that we produce. Of course, it starts from the chest or even below the chest, from what we call the flappy region below the upper stomach, we can call it. Okay, so from there it starts the pushing effort and the air effort, etc. Then the voicing happens through the voice box. Okay, there are tantri, we call them in Sanskritam, or what you call as I forget the English name, whatever, that vocal cord. Yeah, vocal cord. So in the voice box produces the sound. Not all letters need the vocal cord to vibrate, but some of them do. So then the modulation of the letter happens in the mouth and the nasal cavity. Mouth is a major player, right up to the teeth and lips have a role, and the nasal cavity. How we allow the nasal cavity to play. There is a control in us to prevent the nasal cavity from enacting itself when we talk, using this kind of a lever like uh, pressure region available in the back of the mouth. Okay, all right. Or by how we stress the mouth to participate rather than the nose to participate, it variations happen. The red thing here is the lip. Lip has a major role. The upper portion of the mouth has a major role. The back of the lip is basically the moola sthana of the mouth. That also has a role. Teeth have a role. So now if you see the Vargiya Vyanjanas, the Kavarga is producing using throat, Kantha. Okay, so that's the major player. Then Talu, okay, which means little bit above. See here, Talu here marked. Okay, this upper mouth, front portion of the mouth, upper portion. So where the lip and the upper mouth have a certain play involved in producing these sounds. So if you pronounce yourself ch, ch, j, j, nya, you will see the tip of the tongue is hitting the front top of the mouth in pronouncing them. Without doing that, you can't pronounce them correctly. So that's why they are called talavyas, and talu is the portion where they are engineered to modulate. Okay, so that's talu. Then murdha is this portion. You see here, middle up portion of the mouth. So when we say th, th, d, dh, na, you will see the explosive sounds. These explosive sounds are coming by expanding the tongue quickly away from the middle top of the mouth to produce the explosion. Okay, so that's why they're called murdhas. Okay, though murda is shown here, the skull cavity is at play, guys. Okay, the entire skull cavity is participating in the tenor of the sound that we produce. The speech from one person to the next varies largely because of the shape of the entire head cavity also. Okay, it's like a kumbha, echo chamber of sounds. So the brain is transparent for the sound, so the reflection happen from the bone of the skull. Okay, though brain is a dampener, but still there is an echo chamber there. All right, so then dantaha, teeth, are involved in the the na. If you notice, the tongue is playing with the teeth, upper teeth. Okay, then ostau is lips. Pa, pha, ba, bha, ma. The lips are at play. So progressively we are moving to different parts of the mouth to participate. But also at the same time, the effort involved, alpa maha is also there. Our chest cavities involvement. And then also karkasha and mrudu are what we call aghosha and ghosha, largely in Sanskritam. Aghosha and ghosha. Aghosha means without the voice box producing any vibration of significance, but the voice box with significant vibration, the tonality. Okay, so that is ghosha. So aghosha, ghosha. So this kind of classification, everybody, and again we further have other qualities: vivara quality, shwasa quality, nada quality, samvara. These are all technical terms. We'll not worry too much about it, but triplets of attributes related to those two columns and these columns. And if you see even the avargiya vyanjanas which come all over here, ya, ra, la, va, sha, sha, sa, ha, avargiya vyanjanas, they also have their own variations. See, they also have some of them have alpa pranatva, some of them have a fixed mahapranatva. So ya, ra, la, va are called alpa pranas, and all these heaty sounds, sha, sha, sa, and ha, ushma. You see, ushma means heat. So all these heaty sounds, hot air is involved, actually are Mahapranas, built-in Mahapranas. And even then in them, there is Aghosha, Ghosha variant identified by the Sanskrit grammarians. Okay, so this kind of thing. And so, yeah. Then the swaras are in this last column. Okay, Vivrutas, they're all called Vivrutas with a little more open mouthed approach. Okay, and then they have colors in the, like I told you, in the Vedic world called Udatta, Anudatta, Swarita. Only Veda, those who recite Vedic verses, will know the variation of how to pronounce them. They are not just frequency variation, there is also a little bit of effort assertion or rolling variation involved with pronouncing them. All right, then a, e, r, u, a, I, o, au. So if you see here, this a is supposed to be kanta production. E is supposed to be talu production. R is supposed to be murdha production. So they have a row association and a column association that goes with it. See, very scientific. And then this is mixed. Kanta talu, kantoshtam. AI and O are mixed that way. Kanta and talu involved. And it's very clear because A we saw a, E, A. So kanta talu. And then this is kantoshtam. A, U, Au. Like that. Oshtam, U. Like that. So when we do U, see how we roll the mouth, lips of the mouth. U. So there is a lip involvement in production of that. So kantoshta, O, Au also have that rolling of the puckering, we say in English, puckering of the lips. Brilliant. Okay. Then you see he this doesn't talk of and aha at all. It's not there in the list. They're actually additional outside of this list. Ayogavaha, Anuswaraha, Visargaha. So the and aha, they're there. Anuswaraha is Nasika variant. Okay, you can call it under Nasika list. And then Visarga is in the Kantha list, you can say. And but there are two more Ardha Visargas, special Visargas called Jihva Muliya and Upadmaniya. They are also Visargas only, but they are very specifically half pronunciation with a Jihva Mula variation and a Utpadmaniya variation like Ukhpa, Ukhka, like that. Will not worry too much about that. So that's there. All right. Any questions with this picture? Not that I can say too much more. I have exhausted my knowledge here. Okay.
Excuse me, just wanted to some clarification, please. See, I have a book on this Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, but while going through, it is really Greek and Latin for me. I don't understand anything.
Okay. No, it is Samskritam. It is Samskritam for you.
Yes, Samskritam.
No, you said Greek and
no,
Latin.
No, not that way. My question is, to understand it, I need some guidance. When you said this Vyoma Samsthana, Soumya Krishnapura, she is conducting classes, Miss Can.
It's already started years ago. It started. No, you can't contact her directly and all that. It is already started. Go and look for samskritfromhome.in, samskritfromhome.in, like that. Or you can search for Vyoma Samstha in English also. You can type it and get it. You will get URLs to go. You can register for I think samskritfromhome.in. You have to register there. Then you can add the course that she has already conducted. You can get the pre-recordings there. Okay, and all the lesson material, everything, and you can follow that. It will take hours and hours of listening to understand it, but it is there. All her lessons are there present for us to partake in.
Okay, she doesn't conduct classes on ongoing
basis.
She's
conducting, but she is already in the advanced stages now. She is in the seventh lesson of seventh lesson series of Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi, related to some advanced learning of how Ikaranta Pullinga Shabdas are declined and such things. Okay, so it has reached advanced levels. Yeah, you will have to follow the beginnings using the recordings. She may not repeat them because it's all available as recordings.
Oh, okay. Economics is a deep subject. Okay, thank you.
Nita Krishnan here.
Yes.
Will this chart be shared with us?
I can share this chart, not a problem. Yeah, I'll share this chart. Okay. So,
excuse me, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me, sir. What is the name of this lady? Soumya?
Krishnapura. Yes, Soumya Krishnapura. If you want it in English, Soumya Krishnapur. Okay. All right. You won't be, you don't worry about searching her name. Look for Vyoma Samstha, Vyoma Samstha, Vyoma Sanskrit, like that. You give a search, you will get to Vyoma website. From there, you can get to Samskrit from home.in link. From there, you can register, etc. I will try to share the link, not a problem. It's not a big deal. I'll share the link of the actual portal where you can register yourself, become a student, and add courses to your. It is actually a very powerful online learning platform offered for free. Okay, Vyoma Samstha is simply running on Dhana. That means people like me and you, we give out of our heart, we support them periodically by sending donations. Okay, and from that they operate. They are not trying to charge fees for their courses. Okay, almost same approach as Samskrita Bharati. Samskrita Bharati charges only for the books and things like that. So they don't charge for the actual teaching. So for example, my lesson to you is free like that. Okay. Yeah. All right. So I know we are coming up to 12:30, but with your kind permission, I was hoping the attendance will be better than what it is today. My group has 85 plus students, but I only have 33 attendance. Sadly, less than 50%. I hope others will join soon. Okay. So the next thing we have to learn when we learn the letters. See, if you see now, I'm not spending too much time teaching you these letters. It's not like I can teach you online all this. You have to pick up a pencil, a paper, and write it 10 times and learn it. Keep pronouncing it and learn it. Cha, cha, ja, ja, nya. What I have done is pronounce it once, and luckily the book also has it in English. So you can kind of approximately find the sounds, though it's not so easy for these nasals. But you have to repeatedly write to memorize and make it karagata, make it go to your hand. Okay. Yeah. So the next complication for us is the attachment of these vowel signs we call gunita. Gunita means multiplied. So we multiply the swara onto the vyanjana. So that's why we call gunita akshara. So we have to take this stroke and add it to the ka to make it ka. Then this backstroke with the upper link to make it key, cool. Like that. What they have done is shown the sub symbol only here. Okay, but we always learn it along with the consonant like this. See, ka, ki, ku, kr, ke, kai, ko, kau, kam, kaha. Okay, so this declension, letter level declension, okay, or what we call gunita aksharas, we can do for every single vyanjana. We can pick up ka or kha or ga or ga. So for ga, if I do gaga, gigi, gugu, gru, gl, ge, gai, go, gam, gaha, like that. Okay. Or you can do with ya, yi, you, y and r we cannot pronounce. So it is also not used. Okay. This is also not used. Ye, yai, yo, yam, yaha. What cannot be pronounced won't be used by Samskritam. Don't worry. Technically, it appears as if I can attach this r to ya. It's not pronounceable. Okay. It's not used also. So la la li li lulu l le lay lo lam laha. Okay. So I have written it again here nicely. I have shown it for ha also here. See, ha, he, hu, hr, hl, he, hi, ho, hum, ha. So Kannada also I wrote for ka, no problem. Just like Devanagari, Kannada font also has different types of curlings to make those different variant gunita aksharas. Okay. compound letters you can call them. Next actually is something more, next complexity is conjunct consonants. So we have done Gunitakshara learning easy enough once you learn them. Next you have to learn how to conjunct consonants, because in Sanskritam a typical pronounceable portion, a syllable as we say in English, no? A syllable contains 0, 1, 2 or 3 consonants. Remember, 0, 1, 2 or 3 consonants together. 0 means not needed, mean none, no consonant, or 1 consonant or 2 consonants or 3 consonants up to in some rare cases, followed by a swara. So we call it N star Vyanjana plus swara. In formula, it is N star Vyanjana plus swara, where N is 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, optionally as you need. So next what Samskrita Bharati has done is shown you how to do some more popular conjunct consonants where takara and makara join, tma, with the akara of course, tma. So tma, tma. Sh, n, a, shna, krishna, that is shna. Then t, r, ya, triya, triya, trayam. So that one. Okay, triya, trayambakam yajamahe, that one. Triambakam actually there, but it's some people pronounce it as Trayambakam, but Triambakam Yajamahe like that. Okay, so here they have shown some for you. So again, not much I can do to, so you know, k with k and a, k, griya, vya, dga, shya, tsa, kta, gla. This kta, the way we write and the way the font appears in print is slightly different. You have to practice that. Okay, gla, vra, dma, shra, tsna, kritsna, tsna, jotsna, sna. Okay, ktwa, gwa, shcha, dya, shla, tsya, kna, gwa, sorry, gna, gna, vigna, that one. Shna, dva, shva, tva. Okay, kma, gya, cha, dya, shka, shka. Nishkashanam, the double dakara. Okay, of course, alpa prana dakara with mahaprana also exists. The like that. Uddhavaha, uddhavaha like that. Okay, uddhataha, uddhavaha. Our current uddhava is uddhata anyway, not that holy uddhava that we have in our stories. Okay, so I have some more shown here. So what I have done here is slightly interesting variant of that. I actually shown the Halant version, then the Nya. So these are very interesting new fonts, letters. They, instead of having combination picture of that and that, there is actually a completely new picture for them. Nya, Sarvagnya. So actually Sarvajnya, Jnya it is. We use Ga as if Ga is there. Actually there is a Jakara and a Yakara. Jnya, Jnya like that. Okay, sometimes it's okay if you say sarvagnya like that, but gakara is not there. Jya and nya is there. Jya, sarvajnya like that. Some north people pronounce it correctly, sarvajnya like that. Okay, in south we go sarvagna like that. It's very bad. We shouldn't do that. Jnya like that. Okay, ksha is another compound. See, kakara with shakara is ksha, very popular compound. Okay, then repa with kakara. So when repa leads in the combination, it comes as this hook on top. Repamsha. Though it is pronounced first, it shows on the top there. So rka, rka. So arkavati, arkavati, rka, arkavati, karkasha, rka. Okay. Then kr, where repa follows the other vyanjana, is later than the other vyanjana. Then it is written like this stroke. Kra, kra, like that. Rka, kra, rka, kra. Okay, then k and r goes below like this hook. Kr. This is of course a swara and a vyanjana combination. In all these earlier examples, akara is the swara in the end. I have not specifically shown it, but it's there in the nya, sha, ka and ra have the akara in them. Here I have actually shown the halanta kakara with the rikara to show the below. It is actually a samyukta akshara here. Kr, this one. Okay, kr. Then k, r, y, a, kriya. So this kri here adding to the ya, kriya. Akara comes after the yakara. So kriya. Vikrayanam. Actually, Vikrayanam has kra only. I am not able to think immediately of something with kriya. Don't worry. Okay. Ja, Sanjaya. Ja. Ja. Sanjaya. Jaya. Ja. Jaya. Sanjaya. Compound. Okay. See. Ga. Okay. Ganga. Ganga Nadi. Ganga Nadi. Okay, Ganga, of course, Ga is with A Dirga. Here is Hrisvanga, but it's okay. All right, so these conjuncts are meant for repeated reading. The sounds will be firmly fixed in your mind through reading them again and again in the lessons. Some words are good to practice. Devaha, Atma, Balaha, Pathati. So some sentence. So what they are not saying is we start with swaras. Then we learn Vyanjanas. We learn the Lanjana classification. Then we learn how to add the Vyanjana to swara to make a Gunita Akshara. Then we learn how to use multiple Vyanjanas in a Samyukta Akshara, conjunct consonant, Samyukta Akshara. I wish they had given the Sanskritam title also here. Gunita Akshara, Samyukta Akshara. And then Pada. Pada is combinations of these earlier learned stuff. Atma, Balaha, Pathati, like this. Okay. Then we go sentence by adding words together. Balaha Patati with a avasana or space. Balaha Patati. If you want to make a sandhi, it becomes Balak Patati. Balak Patati. So this is a Chihva Muli or something that will come there. Okay. Anyway, Sita Gayati. Sita sings. By reads like this. Okay. So with this, I think we had a good session. So in the afternoon, let us start with some Bhasha Abhyasa. Spend an hour, keep on moving. See, every lesson has a lot of material to learn. So in the afternoon at 3 o'clock, we will all join back and continue our learning. Okay. So if there are any questions at the end of the session, we can take them now before we close this meeting. Please kindly ask your questions. I think everybody is hungry.
Could you share the previous slide, please? This is Vasuki Sundaram.
I won't be sharing the PDF of the slides. I will be sharing specific.
No. Could you just share the screen, because I just wanted to make a note. Nothing else.
I won't be sharing the screen also. I will be sharing some specific slides where some extra material is there beyond the book. What is in the book, I won't be sharing. Okay.
Fair enough. But can I was writing halfway when the slide moved. So now if you can just show.
Please,
so that
the recording of this session will be saved. You can review it.
Okay,
in the record.
Fine. Cool. No problem. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, sir. I have a question, please. Kindly go to the previous slide, please. Bala Padati, no? Bala Padati. Previous slide, in the end of that, there is a word, a sentence, Balaha Patati. Balaha Patati. Correct, na? Is it while reading, it should be read as Balaf Patati or Balah Patati?
Balaf Patati is the Sandhi version. Balaha Patati is the Avasana Yukta version.
But while reading, it should be read as Balaf.
If you read fast, you don't want to give the gap, you read it as Balah Patati. If you're reading it with space, read it as Balaha Patati. No problem.
Okay, thank you. One more request, if you please understand, because we have classes on Saturdays and Sundays only. In between, we have some weekdays. So can we interact with our group members? If we can have a group created for this purpose, can we interact with our members so that we
today when the group was formed, we have not opened up the group for participation by the participants. Okay, because we don't want I am unable to click the link, I am not able to join, things messages only flood the group. Okay, that will make the earlier messages which are critical for those who want to join disappear. So I will be, after sharing today's recording links, etc., I will open the group for you guys to use it for interactive things. But I encourage you to not overdo this. Thank you, very well done, clap, namaskaras there. Okay, no good morning, no good evening, thank yous, etc. I plead with you. I will say all that in there before I open up the group. Serious questions, serious offers of
Okay,
answers.
done.
Sharing some YouTube video or something because they looked at it only about first 5 minutes and thought everybody in the world should look at it. That should be avoided there. Okay. We have enough WhatsApp groups for all that noise. We don't want our Sanskrit group
We
to
can
get
discuss
flooded.
serious things. Okay, clarification, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. So I think I have got you guys all hungry enough to go and eat and then learn more Sanskritam. Please join us back at 3 o'clock. We will continue the learnings. Okay. So thank you very much. I'll do a prayer to close out. Sahana vavatu sahanau bunaktu sahaviryam karavavahai tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om.